Hello, my name is Leo.
Hi, I'm Linja.
And today we're going to warm up. We're using ink pens today, and we'll be warming up using Croquis Cafe, which is a nice free resource for practicing artists.
Yeah, they're on Vimeo right now, and they used to be on YouTube.
Let's go ahead. We're just getting loose. In the beginning, I like to just kind of throw lines wherever I can, so I'm just sketching with my ink pen. And sometimes I try not to raise my tool too much, like it's a contour line drawing, just so I can get my strokes out, I guess. Here. And this is why it's important to warm up, because it's hard to get the right lines after not practicing for a little bit. You don't want all of those weird strokes in your painting. It's good to just take it out on the paper. So it's not only warm up, but practice. They're kind of different. Almost the same, a little different. What would you say is the difference, Anja?
It's almost like the very deliberate move versus a very fast and intuitive move.
There you go.
You have to fine-tune the intuitive move a lot to not let it, to make it work for the deliberate strokes. Otherwise, it's gonna take over.
Yep.
Oh, I actually like this one.
Shapes. Good. Let's move on.
Okay.
Typically, I think it's good to keep the timer on, but we're not
Not very strict on that today.
yeah. Just so you can kind of. It's a bit odd right now, but it's okay. It's kind of warming up. Want to show yours, Linja? Pretty good. Yours is looking more surreal. Mine's kind of
surreal.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think maybe it's because you didn't put much on the face.
Oh. Okay.
All right, let's move on. Yeah, so we're doing some practices in my studio in San Diego, Mira Mesa.
There's a lot of good food here.
Yeah. So the reason why they have 1 to 2 minute poses in the beginning of Croquis Cafe is, again, just that, to warm up. In the end, it's 5 minutes, so that's when you get to be a bit more deliberate with your mark making, and then your proficiency will show. So I think I still want to kind of go loose. I don't feel pretty confident in the deliberate system just yet.
You don't feel that much confidence?
Not yet, it's just the second drawing. So what I'm doing is I'm searching for lines and keeping loose. And I'm pretty much sketching. You can see many strokes as opposed to the one. And it's fine to do that in the beginning. again for warm up. And then later, when we get to the longer poses, then you'll see that when you're sufficiently warmed up, you can deliberately put in the lines where they belong at a more accurate and confident speed.
Well, I feel like it's just extracting the mindfulness over the lines after not doing art for a while.
Mindfulness over the lines.
Yeah, you get a lot more awareness over it.
After warming up, or you mean?
When we are doing warm up.
Yep. I guess that's what I was trying to explain. Maybe in different words. So
It's easier to control the different flow of the line after the warming up. Just because I think the muscles are getting used to doing these lines again.
Yeah, it's like calibrating it.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the word calibrating. Hey! I haven't finished yet. Okay, just gonna pause it.
Start paying attention to all the angles. There's so much nuance in the human body.
Oof. I feel like I have a
I'll show you a
strange
drawing.
style.
Good. Strange style is better than no style. Still rough. Usually I start getting sharp in the third drawing. How
I
about
feel
you?
like yours looks pretty decent. What do you mean by rough?
Oh,
Do you not like the
they're
strokes?
kind of wavy and
Okay.
sketchy. Oh. It's pretty standard position, but I like the slight contrapposto.
It is?
So,
Oh,
see
because
it
she has
from
like
the
a
angle.
step forward, huh?
Yeah.
It would be fun to actually sketch a little bit the shadows.
Yeah, sketch shadows. Even this silhouette might look good. Wonder what she and her lovers are talking about. I think when people who practice figure drawing, when they start to try and get really crisp lines right in the beginning, I think you end up practicing less because you're scared.
That's exactly what happened to me.
And you get to draw really
Wiggly lines.
wiggly and then slower too. So I think that's the benefit of gesture drawing, or even the continuous contour line drawing. Just not mind that you're going to be bad in the beginning, right? And it's pretty strange because then it tells you that there is a correct way to practice, right? Or a more efficient way.
At that stage, I assume.
It's
getting loose is like you allow yourself to make mistakes and stuff.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, I think it's just a beginning thing. It's not even about how much skills or anything. It's just how confident you are about exposing the weak points in the skill.
Yeah.
That's different from just getting the skills.
It's almost, well, I think it's part of it, right?
Yeah, well, of course, the being comfortable with whatever you already have and then build up on it. That's kind of like the whole thing about learning anything.
You can't all be Kim Jong-ji in the beginning.
Who?
He's this very prolific ink artist, draftsman.
Okay.
In Korea. I think I check you out.
Yeah. I remember that much about his drawing though.
He can draw from memory, and he's just always warmed up. he brings his tools with him.
I don't like the way you describe it. It's almost as if saying like what we're doing. He doesn't even need to do it.
No, it's because he did a lot of what we were doing. That he can do what he does.
Okay.
It's not.
He's always warmed up.
Yeah, you should see his drawings. So fast, so accurate, so much energy, and then it looks like he brings his tools everywhere. Like he's just drawing in a ramen shop or whatever. Just draws the whole ramen shop and all the people in it.
Shit.
He's just like that. That's okay. You're not.
I think I tried that in the boba shop.
How'd it go?
No, like you were there.
Oh.
You remember that, right?
Yeah, the architecture.
Yeah. I was trying to use planes, but didn't really go well.
It gets easier, right? And you get faster.
Yeah.
That's how you get close to that.
Yeah,
greatness,
probably
I
should
guess.
try to get a little bit more plein air in real life.
So Lunja has a thing about comparing, right?
Okay.
And I get what you're saying, but it's good to compare yourself to some grades because then it tells you how far you're getting along in your own thing, right?
Or it shows the reference of progress.
Yeah, I mean it's not like it's not like we try to compare ourselves to some unattainable goal and then we end up just quitting or whatever. I think that happens to a lot of people. Right?
It's like mapping different steps.
Yeah, there you go. Because if you can break down what great people are doing, then you can use it for yourself. That's the difference, right? But if you just fanboy over somebody and then don't really study their work,
that just castrate the ability to actually do things.
Yeah, so that's the downfall of that. There are nice shapes.
I feel like this one could be a nice oil painting.
Yeah, just classical pose, I guess. She could be like in a lake, right? As a nymph.
True. And then these could be like transparent, so like someone's getting out of it like a bath.
Could be in a temple, yeah.
What's your thing with the temple?
You're the one painting it. What are you talking about?
Oh shit! Oh.
The mirror is on you.
Oh my god. Okay.
Talking about classical, that's why. There's temples in every classical painting.
I feel like you're just talking about those like voyeuristic like medieval paintings about just weird males looking at the females that's bathing.
Well, that's classical, right?
Yeah, that's why I feel like.
Yeah, that too. Lake, temple, whatever. Forest.
Do you think this legend about, how Arthur is like blessed by the Lady of the Lake? Do you feel like that's kind of like a feminine promise about being voyeured by some omnipotent phallus symbol in that way?
Like a reverse.
Yeah. It's like the readiness of the container, you know what I mean?
So that's the gift of what Arthur gains?
Yeah. He has to bless of the Lady of the Lake or something. I think there's different versions. One of them allows him to walk on water or something.
Mm. Maybe. I don't know.
It's like author is welcome, this phallic symbol is welcome to dump the emotional shit to the female or feminine container in that legend, so he can just achieve whatever he wants without paying any consequence over those conquers and stuff.
I never thought about it. Could be.
I just
Maybe
had the
elaborate.
realization. It sounds similar.
I think a tough thing I had to learn was I had to understand what the lines meant to me. You can't just throw in random lines and hope it works. You have to know the, I guess, the surface. If you know that that's the surface, you have to articulate by following that shape to create form, right?
Mm-hmm.
And by doing that, you really do get to understand your subject. That's another good way to practice, I think, or even practicing as you're doing. Practicing to understand the thing that you're, the two-dimensional thing the thing you're articulating in a two-dimensional way, but you're studying a three-dimensional thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's probably confusing, though.
No.
Okay, good.
Pretty clear for me.
So, and, oh, nice. You want to show our drawings real quick? Pretty good.
Okay.
Yours has a lot of energy, I think.
Yeah, it's because it's pretty dark in different places.
Okay. Move on from the Lady of the Lake. We're starting to feel loosey-goosey.
And you can press to continue. Yeah, it's already there.
So it's not really 2 minutes. I think we're taking our time with
A few more.
Yeah.
That's fine.
In the beginning, we were really concerned with time.
Yeah.
And we had to practice how to practice, if that means anything to you. And that's what we're talking about today, I guess.
Yeah. You have to have some structure of what practice means.
Yeah, because I think, especially in the beginning, you might think, ooh, I want to save money. I'm just going to watch videos, and that's fine. All the videos are there, but you might not know how to absorb the videos
I think
correctly.
It's a little bit more than that. It's because, like, at the beginning, they don't really have a lot of the things that they want to put out, and they have a lot of reference from other people. And it's difficult to just be at the skill of some people that, these art students admire at the beginning. And then they don't, like, they can't really map out how different things they're lacking to get those skills. That's why it feels like really, really difficult, because all the intermediate steps are not there,
Yeah, and there's no feedback either,
Yeah.
But
So I think it's the feedback thing. Once you start to get, like, consistent feedback from the drawings and paintings, then you know where you're lacking. And that makes things a little bit easier.
So this time I just turned my brush pen on the fat side to get some gestures.
Ooh, I like that.
So that's what I mean by the essence of the pose. It's all there already. Then I can give it.
This reminds me of the Chinese calligraphy brush painting. They use that to do it a lot. I'm just gonna pause this.
Then you can get the accurate curves on the outside. So now my drawing not only contains
Always gonna
energy,
have form and energy at the same time.
Yep. Always try to balance the two if you can. it's also important to draw in many different ways. I don't know about the beginning. In the beginning, I think it's good to just maybe practice what we're saying.
At the beginning, pencil was actually pretty hard for me.
And
It's difficult to control the nuances.
Pencil?
Yeah. I feel like not until like I started using Big Pen that I really understand like how to use pencil. Because I have two extremes of this really rough brush pen and then this really, really fine rendering ball pen. I think also because we have the charcoal practice, huh?
Yeah, we were kind of mirroring those two. I think we like to combine the loose and the tight mediums, or mediums that allow us to kind of play in those styles. Loose being a thing that allows us to kind of warm up, and then tight meaning another kind of way that we were able to articulate the subject in a more masterful way. Masterful as in something we can, I guess, correct, and maybe it's more about understanding the technique.
Yeah, at some points, like if you go back and watch, go back and see the old paintings, it's gonna be fun to correct it. Feels like you're doing another drawing, but it's so much faster, and then you already have, and then you know what you think you improved on. I did that with my pencil drawings, and then it feels really good.
Yeah, I think I understand you. I paint the electrical boxes in the town here, and then there's a box I just painted over there, and it's just flowers, just some simple flowers. But at this point, well, at that time I didn't really paint enough flowers. I didn't really understand it. I just kind of wanted to do it, and then I think I painted that 9 years ago, and it's pretty faded. So I just wanted to repaint it. But as I was repainting it, I was just going, following my old lines, and I did so much faster, and I could kind of remember where I was like, where the understanding wasn't there.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just looking at my old
interesting
self.
Memory thing, huh?
Yeah, you're just seeing your muscle memory on a object, I guess, and you're following it.
Yeah, I actually learned from the whatever cognitive science classes, like the implicit memory versus narrative memory thing. That doing it with the hand, like by muscle, is connecting more to the unconscious than the automatic part. So it's like a direct communication between the conscious system and the unconscious system.
I kind of don't want to do the cloth, but I think I need it for balance.
I used it in a very, very transparent way. I think I did it. Because it was kind of dried up, and I think it was working with. Yeah, you should post this in Facebook.
This one?
Yeah.
Feels pretty good. I think it's done.
Wow.
Loose with tight. So I guess we're trying to play on the idea of loose being where your wild energy can come out, and tight is where your masterful, mindful, technical self can come out. You have to try and marry the two if possible.
Yeah, I have to squeeze a little bit at this point.
You want more ink?
I think it has enough, isn't it? Okay, I'm just gonna switch. You know, it's strange because, you know, those like kind of feeling like those like workshops they have when I was like in elementary school. So they just give you these tools, and then they always start with like pencil. Basically, everyone just drawing, and then the teacher doesn't really say anything to the workshop, to the students in the workshop. And I was like, why do they even give kids, young kids in like elementary or like middle school or something with these really sophisticated tools.
So they don't teach them; they just give them nice tools.
No, like they don't even guide them into how to use these tools. I don't know, like, because
do they learn?
I don't know. I don't think I really learned that much, but I was just drawing it like doing it automatically.
Oh.
I think that connection with the automatic system was built in that point, but I wasn't getting that much skill. And they always start with watercolors and stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a Chinese thing where everybody would start with watercolor and everybody starts with like this pencil sketch.
I feel like that's regular here too. I think it's more because
academic style.
No, more that the kids don't ruin anything because the paint's really diluted with water.
No, I think if you use acrylic, I think it's cheaper.
No, what I'm saying is so they don't ruin the walls or whatever, or the clothes.
Oh.
I don't think it has anything to do with...
I'm pretty sure you can ruin stuff with watercolor.
I'm saying I don't think it has any connection to educational theory.
Oh.
Just they're trying to limit the children's
that sounds
capacity
so bad,
for destruction, but then...
They don't really do
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
But in turn, limits their capacity for expression.
Yeah.
Alright, well...
Do you want to do another?
Let's do one more and then we're done.
Okay.
I think we'll be...
So do people here start in art school with like watercolor and pencil sketch?
Oh no, not art school.
Okay.
I mean, I think...
Because that's what they do in art school.
Art school?
Yeah, like in institutions. And then that style is like completely prevalent in other educations when it comes to fine art.
It could be cultural too, because isn't it like a lot of Asian countries have ink and brushstroke type things? And
then especially Japan, it's like everything about them is like watercolor. It's so prevalent, I don't even see traces of like oil painting or whatever.
Well, that is like a Western thing.
I don't feel that way, but maybe it is about history connection,
Yeah. Because maybe they want to keep the cultural strength and tie of the... Here, I have something interesting. Okay.
I don't think it's someone that's tried to do it. It's just like the tradition's there, and then in the history they basically did a lot of watercolor paintings.
Yeah. No, well, I'm trying to say, there's this thing I learned in world art history.
Yes.
Class in college where I guess some European explorers went to I don't remember what part of Asia, but then they came bearing gifts. Usually that's like a good way to kind of connect to another new culture or whatever.
Okay.
And I think when they shared each other's artwork, they saw it as bizarre. Like maybe the Europeans were sharing oil painting and its realism. Yep. And then the East, I guess they were repelled by it.
Oh, I think my art teacher in middle school said something like that too.
Yeah, and then the opposite end was true. I think the Europeans saw the flat style of Asian paintings to seem crude. And then there's more to it. It's just something that you're not used to, Because if anything, both ends of it became viral, not in the modern way, but kind of more in the minds of the people that don't really regularly get this thing that seems very new. It transformed their culture, And an example would be even Van Gogh's paintings. They seem very inspired by Japanese prints.
Oh yeah, I actually watched a documentary about that.
Yeah, and that has to do with, again, the culture. Because Europeans say the painting would be, again, like some classical portrait, and then they show...
they're the daddy that says what real art is, right?
Yeah, and then, well, And then what they're trying to show is the individual and what the individual can acquire.
Yeah, it's about the power and possession thing.
Whereas the a lot of the Asian prints, they have a lot of paintings of like the mountains and the people are really small, and then maybe there's a bunch of them in a market. And I'm sure you have a cliche in your mind.
Yeah, I do.
of those paintings, and then
Yeah.
that has more about like, again, it's not about the individual, but it's about the society at that point, right? And
Or it's about what does it
society
mean to actually live in a society?
Mm.
You know, versus I feel like there's a trend of, you know, separation versus merge with the society thing.
But I think it's also, well, I think we don't want to get too complicated, but I think it has to do with the extremes on both at that point in time when they first met each other.
It's almost as if like in the art, in the older style or like whatever traditional European style, that it's directly in contrast in the extreme. It's like the only way you can actually merge into a society is if you get to the top. Otherwise, you cannot be in the society. You don't even deserve in the society. Because all those paintings, they're always about these people with super flashy clothes and then all those money stuff, you know?
Yeah, they wanted to show their strength via the individual, I guess.
And then it becomes like a monopoly for the higher class. But I don't think it's a monopoly at the higher class. Always like that, at least in Japan, watercolor painting, you know?
But then, I mean, you could argue that there's cultural things that might, well, let's just say it's like opposite perspectives then. How about that?
That's a very good euphemism there.
At that point in time, and then at this point, we're infinitely influenced by each other, where it's kind of hard to see
No, I can still
line
see.
At this point.
I can still see the two extremes.
The two extremes?
Yeah, it's the prototypes.
I guess I was just talking about in art.
No, I am saying in art.
Okay. Maybe we can elaborate on that another time.
Yeah.
Because I think
we're touching on more history than I thought today.
Yeah. Gotta be just the gist of this warm it up, right?
Well, it's actually really nice to talk about these things while we're doing warm up, you know? Yeah. This is what we used to do. We just, you know, it's like we can go on into parallel reality where we have the academic conversation and we have the visual conversation at the same time. I think that's my thing, you know? My ADHD just allows me to do these things at both times, but a lot of times, like, people can't really do it.
Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying. Okay.
Sharks?
Sharp.
Oh.
Eyebrows. Sharp. And you know, I think I'm okay with this.
Okay.
It's like that's fun.
It's kind of sculptural in some way.
Yeah, some parts.
Yeah.
That was fun. I feel loose. Okay.
So it's almost as if you're getting looser, but I'm getting tired or something. I hope that's not a bad thing.
I don't think so. Why would it be? So the point is for us to get warmed up, and yeah, maybe the word is calibration. Because yeah, if you get tighter, because your lines get to be exactly where they want, because you have practiced enough, that's also a good thing. So loose and tight at the same time, that's weird. We'll just call it calibration, and it's for the purpose of our paintings here, so we don't give weird, awkward, frustrated marks in our oil paintings. Other they just stay on the paper. And then if the drawing's really bad, we just throw them away. And no one will ever know we were bad at that point. Just kidding. I was never bad. Look at all my good sketches.
Okay.
Alright, let's just sign out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, thanks for drawing with us. Hope to see you guys again for the next one.
And keep practicing.
Yeah, keep practicing. Bye.
I've heard that phrase a lot.